Welcome back. I'm Alina Smith. I'm a producer, songwriter, and artist. I've worked on projects like Fall Out Boy, ITZY, Red Velvet, and many others. And today we're going to be continuing our series on taking a song from a demo to a final production. In the previous two parts of the series, I have used LUNA Pro and Spark plugins to create a demo and elevate it to sounding like more of a full production. In this video, I will be recording and arranging vocals, and I'm really excited to be using both LUNA Pro and Spark plugins for this part. So just to remind you guys, what we have here in this LUNA session is my old demo vocal pitched up 2 semitones.
I love the nights when we turn off the light and we're lying in the quiet.
Now that I have the full production, I'm excited to replace this vocal with a new vocal that matches the energy of the track. Generally, as a rule, I really prefer recording a vocal to a track that's close to finished. Otherwise, you might end up with a vocal that doesn't quite sit right on top of the track. All right, so I finally have a vocal. I've already gone ahead and edited it. I've tuned it. I'm really liking how this is sounding, and let me play it for you with no processing on, just fully dry.
And this love is not flashy. This love ain't gonna blind you when you look at it directly. And this love's not a fire. This love is a moon kind of lighting, kind of magic license.
Now the demo vocal was cut on a different mic. It was an Avantone CV12. This vocal I recorded on UA's SC1. So it's a little bit of a different tone, and we definitely need to make an adjustment to our vocal chain. All right, so the first thing in the chain is API summing, just adding a little bit of that character. And next I'm gonna use Hemisphere, which is a mic modeling plugin that's made specifically for UA's standard microphone line. Now I wanna look through different mics that we can model here. I actually have a 251, so I have a feeling I might end up with this one, but let's look through different mics.
When I'm with you, I can see 2 moons.
The 800 is so bright,
in the same sky,
as it should be.
in the same sky. Silver
Love the
silver,
67.
we look damn good. Matching our dark.
Okay, I was right. I am definitely gonna go with the 251. And now let's go ahead and add more processing. Next, I'm gonna try some serial compression. And the first compressor in my chain is gonna be an 1176.
2 moons up in the same sky.
I feel like something like that, a little bit gentle, because we are gonna add another compressor. And now let's go ahead and add an LA28 to the chain.
Good. Matching our dark sides. Seem to.
This feels about right. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and add that pop crisp top end with API Vision.
Good.
Around 8K, I think.
Matching our dark.
Maybe around 12.52.
You got me seeing 2 moons in the same sky.
All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's hear this in the mix and just see what it feels like.
Silver on silver, we look damn good.
I feel like I want more verb now that this is so hot in the mix.
Same sky. Don't need the roses, the candle, the dim.
More delay
the
too.
big words. I know I'm your girl.
Now, a very important element that I have pretty much in any song that I produce is dubs. They're basically doubles of the lead that are panned a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, added to certain sections to make the vocals seem thicker. All right, so I got some dubs in. I did dubs that match the lead's pitch exactly, and I did low octaves as well. So let's check this out.
Matching our dark sides. Seen to. Seen to.
Low part definitely helps add some dimension. But let's go ahead and mix this now with the lead. Now I've gone ahead and created a bus for these dubs here. I've called them Alina BGVs because I think I'm gonna add my background vocals to the same bus. So in the very first thing I want to do here is a little bit of chorus, making sure that they hug the lead vocal from the sides. You definitely don't want your dubs or background vocals sitting right in the same spot as the lead. And of course I've panned them a little bit, but let's go ahead and add that chorus effect. And I'm gonna be using Brigade for this here. There's some presets specifically for vocals, so let's check them out.
Matching our dark sides. Seen to.
It's fun. I love the effect.
Seen to. You got me seeing.
It's a little bit much for this.
In the same sky. Seen to.
Okay, I really like this wider backing vocal preset because I'm not looking for much of a rotary effect, just some nice widening effect, and this is doing just that. Next, I'm gonna add a little EQ, and I'm gonna specifically focus on mid-side EQ. This will really help the background vocals not get in the way of the lead. The lead can shine through while these hug it on the sides. So, and I'm gonna boost at 12,000 hertz here, 5,000, a little little bit, and I'm definitely gonna dip some of the lower frequencies because you don't really need them in a vocal like this. Let's hear what this sounds like with the lead.
Matching our dark sides, seen to.
You can really feel that width. And finally, let's add some reverb to the background vocals. There's some really good presets here. Let's check them out.
Matching our dark sides, seen to.
I like the body on this Brooklyn BGV. I just think it has a little bit too much treble decay. And I definitely want a little bit less of it, just so it's not too overwhelming.
Matching our dark sides, seen to. You got me seeing two moons.
That's sounding really good. So, and I really love these settings. So I've gone ahead and imported my background vocals. There were a lot of stems here, so I kind of just went ahead and bounced this down as one stem. And I'm gonna process it through the same bus, but I am gonna turn down the lexicon on the verse just to have it be a little bit drier. So for a song like this, I'm thinking it's gonna be very important to add some ad-libs, especially towards the end. So let me sing some parts, and I'm thinking we're gonna process them to be a lot wetter than the lead to complement it nicely. All right, so we've got our ad-libs here. Let's hear them against the other vocals.
Seen to. You got me seeing two moons in the same sky.
Yeah, let's definitely add some processing to make these play nicely with the leads and the backgrounds. All right, and we're compressing here with API 2500, and I have a fast attack here, long release, just to help the lead vocals still be the most present thing in the mix. And I'm also adding a little bit of shine with Hitsville EQ here. I got a pure plate on, nothing crazy, you know, just a little bit of treble, a little bit less bass. So, and I've got a simple 8th note delay with Galaxy Tape Echo, and this is what it sounds like now.
You got me seeing two moons in the same sky.
So the next thing I'm gonna do is create effects out of my own voice. Now, this is definitely a part of my signature sound as a producer, and I really encourage you guys to develop these types of techniques for your own sound. So I wanna show you guys this effect I just constructed as a sort of an opener for the song.
I love the nights when we turn up.
I just wanted to get into the verse very quickly, but I didn't want the song to just immediately start with the verse. So I sang several parts here. This is actually me adding trill to my own voice naturally, like, and just really sculpting it with volume. I've also reversed some other vocals here with a tremolo effect on them, as well as some others with pitch bends and a couple of breaths. That's just me going. And now I'll show you how I process the stack to make it sound less like a vocal part and more an effect. So really playing with Galaxy Tape Echo here, adding delay, adding reverb, and I've automated a low pass on this EQ to open up this envelope into the verse. Another vocal part I added that I think of less as a vocal part and more as an effect is this hum stack in the verse.
I love the nights when we turn off the light and we're lying in the quiet.
But then I have some other parts underneath here which are not even pitched. It's just me sort of exhaling, and then I've used pitch automation to create different pitches with it. Now that I've cut a lot of parts of my own vocal, I'd like to invite 2 other singers to perform on the song. So I'm actually part of a group called Liar with my bandmates Ellie and Giselle. The song is going to be released by us. I will be the soloist on it, and they will be singing harmonies. So let's go ahead and invite them to the studio and record their parts. So I'm getting individual vocal stacks of Giselle and Ellie separately. They have really different voices from each other and from me, so I think this is gonna add a lot of texture. We're also getting a choir vocal of sorts. It's the 3 of us singing together, which is a totally different texture than when you capture singers individually. So for all my vocals, I use the SC1, but for the girls' voices and for our choir parts, I'm using the Sphere. So we're using the Sphere on the C800 setting for some of the vocals, and for some of the choir vocals, we're using it on the U67 setting. So let's go ahead and check out how these vocals turned out and start to process them. Now, Ellie and Giselle have pretty different tones. Giselle has a lot of high end in her voice, and Ellie has really nice mids. So I'm going to use that and really emphasize that with how I process these vocals. So I've done something pretty similar as far as the processing on the bus for the girls' vocals that I did to my own background vocal bus. I'm still using pure played verb and I'm still using brigade, although I have a little bit less intensity on this chorus. Now, naturally, Giselle has a ton of brightness to her voice, so I am actually emphasizing that, and I'm turning up 12.5K on her. I gotta be careful because it gets her SS to be a little bit intense, so I'll definitely need to de-ess, but I do love the brightness. Yeah, something nice and bright like this. So, and Ellie's voice is not quite as bright. So I'm gonna leave that 12.5K band alone and focus a little bit more on the mids. And you can kind of see them working together. So now we also have this vocal pad stack on the bridge. I feel like I've been talking about this part and wanting to record it since part 1 of this series. So I'm excited we finally have it. I did bounce it down into one stem because this was like 60 vocal parts. Let's check out what this sounds like. So the first plugin in my chain here for this pad vocal is Manly Voxbox. I love this plugin because it's basically designed for vocals. And there's a lot of cool modules here for whatever you need, de-ess, compression, EQ. So I've just played with the EQ a little bit. I've adjusted this preset right here, Hi-Fi BGVs. Really cranking that air band, maybe a little bit less. I'm also dipping the mids, about 200 hertz. So then we have just a little bit of the Galaxy Tape Echo with this preset Walking on the Sun. I think it's just adding a very, very short delay right after. It almost creates like a widening effect. I think it sounds really cool. And there's a little bit of pure played verb, and it sounds great against the track. 'Cause the way you shine on me is the way I shine on you. And finally, we have the choir part, which is like piece de resistance in my mind for this song. I think it sounds so cool. With all of us singing, I did also have to print it down into a single stem because this was like 70 stems. And let me play it for you guys soloed. Okay, so what I'm using on here is Fairchild. Whenever I use this plugin, I always feel like it adds a little more presence, like meat, to any part you put it on. It just kind of makes it stand out more. So I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm honestly just picked this really cool preset here, wider BGVs. And if you hear with and without, you can really tell the difference. Yeah, it really does add that presence. And then I'm using Capital Chambers Verb. I've adjusted this preset called Chamber 4 Vocal. Just playing a little bit with the mix. I like that it has a little bit more darkness to it because a lot of the other vocals are so bright. So this really works well, in my opinion, against everything else. All right, I feel like this is a great stopping point. We've done a lot today. We've really processed these vocals and I'm loving how they sound. So let's go ahead and check out the session with all these new inserts on. When I'm with you, I can see 2 moons up in the same sky. With everything off. It's crazy to hear it like that without all the verbs, all the saucy processing. Yeah, I can't wait to turn it back on. Thank you guys very much for watching. Next week, it's gonna be all about mixing the song, these vocals we did today, and the instrumental parts, and making it sound nice and finished. I will see you next time.